Um, just able to get out there and do it all over again, try to do it all over again, and show what we can do, show what we got. That's really it.
What kind of things have you personally worked on during the offseason, and kind of what are your personal goals going forward this year?
My personal goals is just to be dominant, be a dominant defensive lineman, dominant interior guy, um, and show people that I ain't really trying to play no games. A couple things that I've been working on myself, my conditioning, um, my and just the smaller parts of my game. Just honing in. A lot of the defensive line is repetition. You just gotta keep doing it over and over and over again.
I know you played at East Kentwood. What kind of experience, or how did that experience kind of get you ready to play at Michigan? And do you look back on those years at Kentwood and with a smile when you think about it, or what?
Yeah, it was. I had a pleasant time there. It was fun. We played in the OK Red, which was a pretty big conference. Played against schools with good competition, and I think I came into college not necessarily ready to play, but ready to get ready to play.
What made you get ready to play, or what made you ready to play within the last 3 or 4 years?
Big on my body composition, big on my understanding of the game and understanding the D line. Not necessarily the playbook. I never really always had problems with playbook. It was just understanding of the game, understanding leverage, understanding hand placement. I really been working on that.
What kind of ways do you feel you'll make an impact this season?
Um, just showing the rest of my guys how to affect the game and making teams run the other way. You know, I just think that up front as a unit, we can really be dominant. And I think all it takes is for one person to do it, and everybody will follow suit.
I guess
Obviously, we're here to talk football, but you guys have the platform, your coaches have the platform that not a lot of people have. And Jim Harbaugh was asked recently, or this last weekend, about some of the Roe versus Wade and just sort of the decisions that are being made with that. I wonder if there's any internal conversations that happen within your locker room, how you guys feel about those things as far as women's rights, people's choice, or in that regard in general. So Mazi, you first, then BJ.
I'm an advocate for women's rights. We don't all have to think the same. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And it'd be different if you got somebody going around telling other people how it's supposed to be. They just telling you what you believe. And that's all people can do. Just tell you what they believe, whether you like it or not. You know.
Yeah, I'll say it's an open environment. You can speak how you want, and there's not a right or wrong answer to stuff. And so that's why I feel like in the locker room we have had discussions, but it doesn't break us apart, bring us together, because you get other points of views, and I feel like it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we have an open environment.
And that's even, I don't know if either of you guys were on the trip that a lot of Big Ten athletes
In Selma?
to Selma.
Yeah, I went there.
If you were there, so just, that's just, I guess, your thoughts about that as well, what you learned there, and just people being, it seems like a lot of people are on the same page about things like that, and I just wonder where that line is drawn.
I just think it's important to know where this country came from, to figure out where it's going. I think that the trip to Selma was educational for a lot of reasons, but it was also good to see other people in your same shoes that look like you doing the same thing that you do, being very successful. One of the reasons we went down to Selma was to show the people of that community that look like us that they could be just like us and do the same things and never have to look back. You know what I'm saying? We went down there to support Selma and uplift Selma.
We'll do nice smiling pictures for you guys for Instagram, okay? Thanks, guys.
Question.
Both of you guys, if you could be Big Ten commissioner for a day, what would be the next team that you add to the Big Ten?
I wouldn't add no other teams to the Big Ten. Big Ten to Big Ten. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't add nobody else.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't add anyone to the Big Ten either. We about to add 2 others, so I wouldn't add anyone either. So.
For both of you guys, just freshmen at both of your position groups that have impressed you so far.
Kenneth Grant, gonna be a monster.
What about him has impressed you?
I mean, well, he the biggest guy we got right now. But he moved well. He an athlete, and his mentality. He came in just ready to work. Came in ready to get to it, ready to contribute. You know, we gonna see if we can get him ready. I believe we can. You know, but you know, he really impressed me, man, for real.
Both of you get to play Ohio State for the first time in 4 years. Haven't been at the shoe in 4 years, so what have you heard about Ohio Stadium? This year is also the 100-year anniversary of it. Just what have you heard about it? What are you kind of looking forward to when that game comes in November?
I've heard it's loud. It's going to be a hostile environment, and I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it. But like I said, I haven't been there. I've never been there, and so like I'm looking forward to it.
You know, I like playing road games. You know, my favorite type of games to play. I always say that. I've been in the shoe before during recruiting, and I saw how they get down. You know what I mean? And they do a good job over there, so I'm excited to go over there and play in that environment.
DJ, I promise all easy questions, okay? We only do positive content, okay?
All right.
So here's the easiest question for you today. What's it like putting on that uniform, the M? What's it like for you to represent Michigan down here at Big Ten meetings?
I mean, it's great. It's hard to describe unless you've done it. And just putting on the M, I mean, running down the tunnel, 110,000 people, slapping the banner. I mean, like I said, it's like a movie. I mean, you can only know if you've done it. And I'm just glad I can be able to do it.
DJ, what's something you've learned about yourself this summer? Obviously, you've been practicing, you got the team out there. I mean, is there something that you've learned about yourself going into this season that you're thinking, man, this is going to be my year, or something really special for you this year?
I mean, I wouldn't say I learned it, but I'm a leader of the team now. I mean, that's different than last year. I mean, I was in the position to do that last year. We had, Aiden, J. Ross, Brad, people like that. But this year, I'm a leader on the team, and I mean, I'll say I wouldn't have learned it, but it's something that's different.
How has this defense changed under Jesse Mentor from what you were last season?
I mean, it hasn't changed too much. Similar styles, good fun coach, good personality, good relationship with him. I mean, it hasn't really changed a lot since last year.
DJ, back to the question from earlier. I mean, both with the cornerbacks and safeties, the freshmen that have stood out to you.
Freshmen, in my room corner, there's Will Johnson. He's done good. Miles, Cody. I mean, all of them. All the freshmen have came in and willing to work. I mean, that's a real, and accepting anything and not thinking they're bigger than anything. And then the safety, Keon's looked good. I mean, it's, like I said, all the freshmen that came in have been willing to take in anything you say and just want to get better.
And both of you guys were both, you had to bide your time and wait for your opportunity. Knowing that some of those guys will be in similar shoes, what's your message to the guys that need to stick it out?
Don't give up. I mean, and you never know when your time is going to come. Like, never. It's always different for different people. So you can't go based off somebody else. So just stay ready and don't go into a week not preparing. So when you get your chance, you're not prepared. Like, just keep going in strong, and because you never know.
To that last thing you said waiting and biding your time. That ain't what you're doing. It's all about preparation. A lot of people take the wrong approach to that and say, oh man, my time gonna come, and when it do, no, your time is here right now. If you ain't taking care of your business right now, you ain't gonna be taking care of your business when it's time for the team to count on you.
Mazi, the easy question's coming from me. What's something you do besides football? I mean, what's something that makes you tick and you like to do besides playing football?
I like writing poetry and reading poetry. I'm a big fan of movies and acting, so I like paying attention to the certain things that actors do, because maybe, I could be on the screen sometime, in my life.
And last question, playing for Coach Harbaugh. I mean, what's that like playing for Coach Harbaugh? I mean, his name's up here in the stadium. You walk in here, anybody in here sees Coach Harbaugh's name in the Ring of Honor. What's it like?
I don't know if people can. It's hard to be the same person every day, and that's what Coach Harbaugh is. And I don't know if it's a coach out there that would love his players more than Coach Harbaugh does. And you just get to see it in day-to-day interactions with him and who he is. Like, his name is up in this stadium, But when you go talk to him, shake his hand, discuss problems with him, it don't seem like it. He's a humble guy, love him to death.
Thanks to both of you guys. Safe travels. Thank you.
For both of you guys, the Big Ten's got so many good running backs across the league this year. When you go into a season knowing every game you're going to have a tough running back to face like that, just what type of challenges that present week in, week out?
As a D-line, it's our job to stop the run. So, regardless of who back there carrying the rock, it's up to their O-line to move us. And if they can't do it, then whoever got the rock ain't going to be able to run it. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter who back there, as long as we doing our job.
Yeah, to add on that, we got the best running back in the country in Blake Corn. So, we're not going to see any better. So, like I said, we going into practice strong and going into the games, any game, don't matter who we play, we're confident. So.
Well, for both of you guys, not counting your own coach, if you could pick any other Big Ten coach to play for, who seems like they'd be the most appealing if you couldn't pick your own coach?
I'm rocking with Coach Harbaugh. I had the chance to go there during recruiting. I'm still rocking with Coach Harbaugh.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say nothing crazy either, Appreciate the question, Maybe we can talk about it off camera. So.
For both you guys, beating Ohio State last year and just sort of coming out of that game, what was it like that night, that weekend, the celebration? What was sort of that experience like?
It was amazing. Like it's a really big deal. It's a really big deal, that Ohio State-Michigan game. And so, it was something I haven't experienced before, I'll say that. And I'm looking forward to it again.
It just felt good to get over the hump. You know what I'm saying? That team known to end our season, or end it on a bad note. And it just felt good to go out on a good note, then a better one. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool.
Did you hear from a lot of just students around campus about what that meant to Michigan?
Yeah, big time. People was telling me they was crying. Their parents was crying. It was the best day of their life. I was like, wow. And you just hearing that, you realize that, we play football because we want to and we love the sport. But sometimes you forget what the game does for others who ain't really that involved, for people who just love the game and love the people who play the game. It's a big deal because people have been loving that Block M forever and seeing us, not necessarily be where we supposed to be. And last year we finally got a taste of it, and everybody got a taste of it. It was a great time.
A year ago at this time, a lot of the guys who came here were talking about taking that game more seriously and how there was a different way of talking about it, different way of approaching, like preparing for it in practice and stuff. Has that stayed consistent? Are you guys still talking about that game in a different way?
Yeah, that don't change. That don't change. Never did, never will, Once you set the culture up, it's hard to make it go away,
What did that win do for your head coach, Jim Harbaugh? Did you notice something different about him after you said you guys got over the hump? Especially then coming back and winning the Big Ten championship,
It was a great year for Coach. A lot of stuff to smile about, a lot of stuff to be happy about. A lot of people who we shut up. But at the end of the day, he's still the same guy. But sometimes, you would catch him in a moment, hard for him to contain his excitement. Look like he about to explode.
Yeah.
But we all were. That was all of us. We're real happy about that.
What sort of characteristics rubbed off on you guys from, Aiden and Jabo and some of the guys that were there last year that are now in the NFL?
If you pay attention, it's a certain way that people carry themselves on the field and off the field before having a year like that. It's a certain mentality that they bring. You listen to the words that they speak. You listen to the things that they speak into existence. It's a big deal, and they just really show you the way. Aiden took care of his business no matter what, was always honed in, was always locked in. Jabo didn't want to let anybody beat him, ever, in practice, no matter who they was. And that's how it has to be if you want to be a good player.
Jim said you guys attacked the offseason with zero entitlement. It's
far as all the players. What's the key to that when you guys are coming off a really successful season?
To remember that, you got to do it all over again. Don't get full of yourself. A lot of people get full of themselves, whether it's as an individual or as a team, and it never work out well.
Yeah, just remember what it took to get there, and don't get complacent. That'll be the main thing we were saying. And, being in Michigan now, and after the Big Ten Championship, we're going to get everybody's best game. We already did, but now it's really, we have a target, so we just got to keep going at it.
Mazi, you have a new position coach in Mike Elston. Just curious about the changes you've seen from your group under his watch and some of the developments this offseason alongside him.
We run the same defense, so a lot of the stuff that y'all saw last year, y'all still be seeing. There's a certain way to play D-line. I think Coach Elston is a great addition to the staff. I think he really knows what he's doing, knows what he's talking about, and I think that he has a lot of experience in this game. Very valuable guy, very, very valuable asset, and the young guys have really been taking a liking to him and learning from him, learning how to do things the right way, like I talked about earlier. It's always the right way, always the right way.
What did you guys pick up on the next step? Like you said, you win the Big Ten Championship, and then you get in the college football playoff semifinal. It didn't go exactly the way you wanted.
Yeah.
What did you learn about what you've got to take to that level to get to where you ultimately want to go? As Coach Harbaugh even delineated today, that's one of the goals.
Yeah. Growing up, my uncle would tell me all the time, and a lot of people that loved me growing up that knew that I could be a good football player someday, they all told me that my competition ain't in my conference in high school. It ain't in Michigan. It ain't in Grand Rapids. It's in down south. It's in Florida, Alabama, maybe California. It's everywhere, And I think that game, our last game of the season, really showed that however big and bad you think you are, it's somebody out there that can be bigger and better. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take every time, all the time in the world, to really hone in and make sure that you prepare for any challenge that you face.
Mazi, the way that you guys on both sides of the line dominate Ohio State's line, does it surprise you, not surprise you, and if not, why?
I saw Ohio State's O-line, and they were big, good football players, athletes, just wanted it more. At the end of the day, on both sides of the ball, wanted it more, went out there and took it. It's always there for the taking. Always there for the taking, and that's what we did.
Mazi, I believe you had an Ohio State offer out of high school. I'm just curious, what do you remember about being recruited by them, and what made you ultimately choose Michigan?
They're good recruiters. They had a good D-line. A big difference was Coach Greg Madison. He when I was getting recruited, I kept hearing that everything he touched turned to gold, and which I think I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? Some gold. So.
What did you think when Greg Madison went to Ohio State for a couple of years?
This is how the game go. It's a early lesson to learn, but a great lesson, very valuable, invaluable lesson to learn. Still respect him. Still appreciated what he did for me and getting me to Michigan. I think that's the best decision that I could have made for myself.
Why?
Michigan is really taking care of me personally, taking care of me internally, externally as a man. I've just grown a lot in Michigan. I'm not there yet, but I feel like when the time comes, I will be prepared for the real world. I'll be prepared for the next level. Whatever, life has in store for me,
DJ, during the early parts of your career when you were kind of waiting your turn to crack into the lineup, what did you learn over those couple of years, whether it was special teams or scout team or whatever, that allowed you to have the success you did when you broke into the lineup partway through last season?
Like I said before, just stay ready. That was the main thing. Just always being prepared. Whenever my shot was, whenever it came, I was gonna be ready for it. And so, that's what, being there as a freshman, I had like Levert Hill, Embry, all of them, they just kept on telling me that. And so I just went through that and was just ready when I got my shot.
DJ, what is it about Will Johnson's skill set that stands out the most to you?
I mean, he's big. He got good size, athletic, and willing to learn. That was the main thing, you know. He didn't come in thinking he was too big for anything. He's willing to learn and willing to work. And so I think the main thing about him.
Question for you.
They all showed me that the defensive, the learning curve to playing D-line at the college level is different. It's not like, not saying other positions is easier or harder, but it's just not like other positions because you got to check every box. You got to be strong. You got to be fast. You got to be technically sound. You got to know what you're doing, when you're doing it, how you're supposed to do it. And they all did that before they went to the league. You know what I'm saying? They just showed me the way. Even Michael Dunford, Carlo Kemp, you know what I'm saying? All of those guys that came before me, they all had a big effect on me because it was just a certain way to play D-line. From here and there, like here and there, we still talk, still chop it up, you know.
A question for you both. If there is one player on the team right now that you would say could be a surprise coming up this season, who would it be?
I say Mike Sanders moving on the defense. He gonna make noise this year. I'm confident on that. So yeah, I say Mikey.
Last year for you guys was obviously a pivotal year for a multitude of reasons. The identity really shifted for you guys. I know that this preseason a lot different than last preseason. So as you guys are kind of embarking on the season that's upcoming, have you talked about the identity for this team? Is it going to be different than last year? And if so, how?
The identity's still gonna stay the same. You know, it's gonna evolve and grow and change, but there are certain events that's gonna cause that. It'd be more of a chain reaction. It's hard to say how things gonna go, predicting. You know, you can't predict it, but it's gonna happen. You know.
Coach Harbaugh listed, in addition to winning a Big Ten championship, winning a national championship, beating both Ohio State and Michigan the same year as team goals for you guys. Why is it so important to beat both those teams in a year? I know you've done it. Some years you beat Michigan State, you beat Ohio State last year. Why do you need to do both of them in the same year, in addition to those other things?
I mean, those are our major rivals, and so I mean, you never want to lose any game. And then Michigan State and Ohio State, like that's just bigger. That's the cherry on top of not losing. And so we haven't done it, and we trying to do it this year.
Does the fact that you did get over the hump with Ohio State last year, but lost to Michigan State, does that eat at you guys a little bit, even though there was a lot of success last year?
Oh no, for sure, it does. Like it does a lot, and we're just ready to play this year.
Mazi, after Coach Minter arrived, he talked about finding ways to maybe allow you to rush the passer a little bit more, maybe different from the role you had last year. Those tweaks, did you have to change anything in your off-season preparation or anything to fill the role that he sees you in relative to your role last season?
Nah, just an expanded role. He really just told me to keep doing what I was doing, and we're gonna do more. That's it.